Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. And today I get to hang out with my friend, Seung Paik, who is the founder of Leadernomics and wants to be known for this concept of priceless leadership. Seung, welcome to the show.
Thank you, John. It's awesome to be here. Uh, I've watched you already a lot on LinkedIn, and every time I see you, you just bring a smile to my face.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you, man. If y'all didn't know, we were supposed to start recording roughly 45 minutes ago. We spent 45 minutes just laughing together, man. Oh, my belly hurts, bro. My belly hurts. Oh man, you got so much joy on you, man. And so I want to communicate that to the people, man. You got to watch this dude. He's got joy on him.
Mm.
So Sung, can you tell us about priceless leadership? What does that mean?
Yeah, priceless. It's a big word, right? And if I can put some additive words to priceless, especially since it's regarding leadernomics and economics, being my background. We like to talk a lot about markets and market value, right? And at the end of the day, if you ever take an econ class, the way human beings are described, we're described as inputs to labor, right?
Wow,
And that's what we are.
crazy.
We work. We're an input to production, and it doesn't take very long before people just once again see humans as one more commodity to getting what the boss wants to get done. And that's just how we roll, right? Because at the end of the day, every leader is measured on how they can generate the bottom line.
Results.
Yeah, results. I get that. But you know what? We got to remember that this input to production, we're still human. Yeah. And the way we've been made is not with a priced nature. We're made with a priceless nature, right? So it's this whole notion, priceless leadership, priceless
Yeah,
people.
yeah,
It's something that everybody, no one's going to disagree with that. But our lives and our actions don't represent that. And
yeah,
so it's getting people back to this understanding of if you're a leader of people, your people have more than just market value. They have inherent value. They have eternal value.
yeah,
They have priceless value. And you, as a leader, you also are priceless, right?
yes,
And so that's the connection. It's priceless leadership leading priceless people. And when we do that, you know what you can expect? You can expect priceless outcomes.
yeah,
That's economics at its
yeah.
heart.
Wow. All right. So now that sounds very different than the economics that people are going to be used to hearing about, right? But you're adding this layer on top of it, right? There's economics as we've normally understood it, but it's a finite science, right? It's the science of the finite,
Yes. Great.
and you've introduced this infinite element to it, right? Which a little bit reminds me of Simon Sinek. Are you familiar with him?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Finite versus infinite games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and in a sense,
Absolutely.
there's an expansion that he's bringing, and it sounds like you're in somewhat of a similar vein there. You're expanding the meaning of economics.
Yeah, so like, economics at its core definition, like if you just did a good quick Wikipedia or a Google on it, you're gonna see that economics is the study of choices. It's the study of human decisions, right? At
Wow.
its basic element. How do humans make their decisions? And so even before you and I get out of bed, Johnny, right, we've already made about 10 decisions. 9 of them were snooze, right?
Yeah.
So we're making economic decisions from the moment we make up. And the question that economics always looks at is not just did he hit snooze? Why did he hit snooze
Yeah.
9 times?
Yeah.
How did he come to that decision? So it always probes far deeper, right? It's immediately probing into the why and the how. Just like Cynic, you were saying, he's always talking about the why. So economics immediately as a discipline, it's not just about the decision and the choice you made, but it's a study of it. So it's studying why did you do that? How come you did that at this moment, right? So it's checking your heart. It's checking your motives. It's checking your intentions, your preferences, your particularities. That's what it's doing. And so that's all human EQ type stuff that
Yeah.
it's getting into.
Yeah. Yeah. That's deep, man. So how did you come to this? How did you find this gold nugget that you landed on, this calling that I can tell is imprinted on you, right? How did you find that in the study of economics, or what's your story that led you to this place?
So I mean, I was in the military early, right? So I went to a place called the Air Force Academy at the age of 17, and I know you're familiar with it being from
Yeah.
Colorado.
Yes, right down
And
the block.
yeah, and quite honestly, I'm not one of those guys that was wanting to go to the Air Force Academy as an 8 year old wanting to fly jets. I had
Yeah.
bad eyes. I get
Yeah.
airsick.
Yeah.
And so I went there for all kinds of different reasons. And while I was there, I quickly realized that this culture is a pretty homogeneous culture, right? They're all pursuant of the military, great core values, love the mission, love the vision. But you take a guy, a fish out of water, and you throw him into the military, and then all of a sudden you look to your left and you look to your right, and everybody's marching to the same tune. You're kind of trying to figure out, as someone who's a little bit different, which was me, and didn't
Yeah.
quite know why I was there. I'm
Yeah.
looking for a mentor, right?
Yeah.
I didn't have what I would consider. I had great parents, but they weren't the kind of parents that were like, "Hey, son, sit down. Let me tell you about life." It wasn't. It wasn't. I didn't have those kind of parents.
Yeah.
Great parents, loving parents, but we didn't have, like, they're first generation Korean immigrants. We didn't have like conversational parenting.
Yeah.
And then I just didn't have those kind of mentors in my life as people that were kind of intervening in those critical decisional moments of life. And then being in the military, same thing, because they were all kind of marching to that same beat, and I was in crisis with that beat. Who do I
Yeah.
go? Who do I go to?
Right.
And so, crazy enough, in the midst of all of that, I'm at the Air Force Academy, and I have my first econ class. And this econ class, in the principles, it starts probing my heart, like, hey, what's your motivations? What's your intentions? What are your priorities? I'm like, wait. How is this textbook able to do this? Right? It was kind of like a mirror to my soul.
Yeah.
And so it was economics that actually was a discipline that kind of helped me navigate through that crisis, subjectively probing my heart, but objectively giving me guidance. And as far as I'm aware, that's the sign of a pretty good mentor, right?
Yeah.
Right? Someone that can kind of probe into you, ask you a lot of good questions, and then take all that stuff and then give you some good, suggestive, truthful, honest, clear guidance going forward, right? So I kind of consider economics my mentor.
Wow.
And so we began this relationship back when I was about 18, and econ has been a tried and true, never failing mentor my whole life and leadership career.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to pull on that thread a bit
Yeah.
because I think me and probably a lot of people that are listening are wondering how can economics, how could that textbook be a mentor? So what was that like? Can you let us into the conversation at all?
Yeah.
Right? How is that book speaking to you?
Yeah.
What are you hearing it say? How is it applying to your life outside of school? Right? Like,
Yeah.
can you add some color for us?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll give you one really simple one. I mean, and this isn't just econ, but I know econ brings it to the forefront, but it's actually a behavioral study. It's a psychology study. It's this term called sunk cost, right? And sunk cost is anything and everything which you have invested into, that you have expended, that once you've expended, you can't get it back.
Yeah.
So when you and I go to that buffet and we
Yeah.
put down that fixed price of $20,
Yeah.
and you and I take that first plate and we eat it, and it's okay, right? And so then I go to the buffet manager and I say, "Hey, I only have one plate. Can I get some of my $20 back?" It's sunk. It's
Sunk
gone,
cost.
right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether I have one bite. It doesn't matter whether I have 10 plates, right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
you know what we do? We do what humans do. We have that one plate of food. It's okay, right? and we're also kind of full. But because I paid $20.
Stop it. You're speaking to my soul. Don't do it. Don't do it.
So you know what I do? I go get plate number 2.
Yes, you do, because you
Yeah,
paid for it,
that's
bro.
right, bro. Because I'm not getting it back. And so
Yeah,
then do you know what I do after plate number 2? I go get plate number 3.
I know what I do.
And then I know you're gonna go get some dessert too.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Some mediocre dessert.
Right. And so that's what we do. And that's what we call sunk cost fallacy. And it's fallacy because what's sunk is sunk. And the next decision, whether I should have plate number 2 or not, should not be based on what's sunk, the $20 that's gone. It should simply be based on, do I want to have another plate or not?
Is this what's best for me?
Is this what's best for me? Right? Right?
Golden
And
Corral in the house.
yeah, but in
More
our
than
minds,
MSG.
we're thinking this, Johnny. We're thinking I paid $20 for this buffet, but if I go have 4 plates, ooh, that's only $5 per plate. What a bargain for me, right? And so, and so I think that's a and if I go have 5 plates, that's $4 a plate. That's even a greater bargain for me. So that's what we do, and that's fallacy. That's sunk cost fallacy. So so now it gets deeper. It gets deeper. I've been dating this girl, Sung. I've been dating this girl for a full year, and it's toxic. It's not a good relationship. But you know what? I think we're gonna keep trying. And I say, why? Well, because I've been dating her for a full year, right? Well, not because you love her, not because you want to keep this thing going. Well, no, because I've invested so much into it already.
Yep. Yep.
So it's more than just about the investment of dollars. It's about the investment of time,
Time.
energy, effort, emotions, all of the things that we invest into something that we're not going to get back. It's gone.
Yeah.
But we continue making forward decisions based on trying to preserve what's sunk in the past.
Scarcity mindset.
Scarcity mindset, fallacy mindset, irrational mindset.
Yeah.
And you cannot seize the opportunities in front of you because you keep trying to save the sunk that's behind you.
All right. I'm trying to picture this, bro. This is wild. So
That's
I'm
econ.
picturing little 18-year-old, 20-year-old Sung reading the econ book, rolling around, being like, wait a minute. Sunk cost. Now I see sunk cost everywhere. So that's how it worked, right? Like, so it stirred up wisdom inside of you, it sounds like.
Big time. I mean, so
Yeah.
like if you think about it, so like I'm going through this crisis of being in the military, like I don't think I marched to the same beat. And it really challenged me because the way it challenged me is no matter how much time I invest in the military, if there comes a point in time when the military says, hey, Sung, you can leave scot-free. You don't have to stay in the military. Or if you want, you can stay, right? Well, I should make that decision based on whether I want to leave or to stay based on the opportunities ahead of me or not in front of me. But I ought not to be making that decision constantly on, well, I've already invested 2 years in the military, and so I don't want to ever let that go to waste, and therefore I should stay solely because of that. That is a
Right.
fallacy
What
mindset,
will I
right?
lose? Aversion to loss, right? They also call that the
That
aversion to loss fallacy.
bingo. That's it.
Yep.
So now you start thinking about that kind of stuff, and you start seeing, yeah, that's mentor type of stuff.
You're making better decisions now,
You're making
right?
better decisions, right? And that's a mentor guiding you toward that, but it's subjectively how is it it's subjectively probing me.
Yeah.
Everything in me. It's checking it out.
Yeah.
So that's what it's doing.
Man, that's pretty wild, man. I
Yeah,
think
and that's just the start. That's just the
yeah.
beginning. That's just the beginning. So these principles, they get broader and deeper into your human decision making
Yep.
to subjectively probe and then objectively guide you through it.
All right. And so now that's what you're trying to do with your book, what you're doing with your book, Leadernomics, is you're trying to give that mentor to other people to some degree. Is that what's going on?
Yeah. So I think I read somewhere recently, Johnny, that, and I think this is one of those broad polls. What's the name of it? Gallup.
Yeah.
They asked uh, people in the demographics of Gen Z, X, and Y, all of us, how many of you guys want a mentor? And the response was about what I would guess. It was like 85% of people said, I would love to have a mentor. And then it asked the question, right, how many of you actually have a mentor? And I think the percentage was around, what would you guess the percentage is?
From my own experience, because you know my own story, so I'm
Yeah,
going to guess it's really low, like 15%, 20% maybe.
it's a little higher. It's like 25 to 30%. But if you think about that, right? If you were to go to any good company and if you ask them, hey, how's your mentorship program? Do you actually have a good mentorship program established in your organization? You know, just about every person in the C-suite is going to say, oh yeah, our company, we've got a great mentorship program, right? And so if that's the case, then why is it that 85% of the people say they would like mentorship and about 30% of them have it, or at least would profess that they have it? So there's some type of miscommunication going on in the world. There's some kind of miscommunication going on in all of corporate America. And here I am coming out of the military, and even in the military, we would eat, live, and breathe leadership and mentorship. And I will be the first to tell you, mentorship is not as organic, it's not as natural as we would like to think it is. It doesn't just happen. It takes intentionality, right? And the minute something takes intentionality and investment, it doesn't happen as often as we would like to think it's happening, not in the military and not in corporate civilian America. And so this book is kind of got a twofold importance to it. Is one, if you're in that gap where you don't have a mentor but you would like one, well, I got one. It's called Econ, and it's 24/7. It's available. You can call it any time of night. You got the
Yeah.
you got the principles, and you wake up at 2 in the morning and you need a mentor. It's there for you, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's one aspect to it, is that it's a full time, full scope mentor for someone in life who wants it, needs it, and may not have that special person in their life. On the flip side, it's kind of sort of a rebuke. The book is kind of a rebuke. And it's a rebuke to leaders to say, let's step up our game. Let's initiate. Let's be intentional. Let's be the mentor that we need to be. And we can even use econ to help us be a better mentor, right? But let's not, at the end of the day, make econ the sole mentor in life. Let's not do this. Let's be that mentor to other people. So on the one hand, it's definitely got an aspect of I'm here for you. You need me. I'm here for you 24/7. But it's another aspect to say to leaders in particular, leaders, your legacy is not your immediate leadership. Your legacy is mentorship.
All right. So this is continuing to confirm a thread of thinking and observation for me. You know, like I've had many of these conversations, and so often the gift that people give to the world, the gift that we give to the world, is the gift that was given to us, or the gift that we wish was given to us, right?
That's so good.
And it's,
That's so good.
yeah, and for me, it's both. It's both, right? Like part of the reason I give identity, you know, my two words are identity and connection. That's what I'm in the world. That's my calling. That's what I'm here to do, to call people upward into their true identity, and then to be a catalyst for big things to happen through connecting with people and connecting them with each other, right?
Yeah.
Well, there was a time in my life where I wished somebody would do that for me, but I, Johnny, now looking back, wish that somebody would have done that for me. At the time, I didn't have the presence of mind or awareness, right? Like you don't know what you don't know when you're young, right? What I really would have benefited from would have been a mentor,
Yeah.
right? Somebody
Yeah.
who would have been just like intentional and like
Yeah.
positive and really believed in me and was like, I'm going to call forth. Um, but then that happened. But again, so now that's an energy inside me,
Yeah.
right? Like I
Yeah.
want to give that thing that I didn't get the way that I
Yeah.
would have liked to have had it. Um,
Yeah.
how is that for you? You know,
That
how does that factor in for
that
you?
that to me is it, right? So I mean, like so much of what you do, what you study, what you write, the super quest, all of those things, it comes out of that remembrance of I didn't have that, and now because I remember that and I needed it, I want to give that to somebody. I want to be that person, right? And that's that for me and you, and that's what drives us, right? Like we don't want to be. By the way, you know what the word mentor? I mean, it is synonymous with. It is synonymous with continuous learning, because in
Yeah.
order for us to be a good giver of wisdom and a good giver of any types of coherent advice, man, you and I got to be constantly thinking, learning, studying, growing,
Yep.
so that we can give and so that we can guide and so that we can intentionally, proactively go to that person and be like, hey, come on over here. Let me talk to you. I got something
Yeah.
for you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You were saying that earlier. You were talking about how people are not proactively mentoring, right? That's part of what you I think why you what you would describe as the reason for that gap. 85% of people want a mentor, 25% of people have a mentor.
Yeah.
What's up with that percentage? Well, it's got we who are further along are often if we're available at all, it's like, well, you come and get me.
Yeah.
I've got the wisdom, you come get me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you have a different idea, and I haven't heard anybody say this before, like the way that you said it. But you have a different idea about how that should look, which I'm assuming goes with the rebuke to leaders in your
Man,
book.
uh, thanks for bringing that up. So there's another principle in economics. It's called price discrimination.
Yeah,
And I know that sounds negative, but it's one of the most positive principles you're ever going to hear. When you go to a movie theater, you got different prices at different times of the day, right?
yeah, yeah,
You got different prices to different categories of people.
yeah,
I'm pulling out that student ID card if I got a student ID card.
yeah,
I'm pulling out that military ID card if I got a military ID card.
yes,
And you wonder, why does a theater do that, right? Why does a theater have all this different pricing at different times, different people, different days? Well, because you know what? That theater is going to show the movie no matter what.
yeah,
Whether there's one person seated in that theater or whether the theater is full, that movie's going to run.
yeah,
But you know what? That theater wants that theater to be full.
yes,
And in order for that theater to be full, they've got to create some different pricing and different discounts for different people, right?
yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I like to say? I like to say, Johnny, we've got a big leadership capacity. You and I, we got big influential capacity. But you know what? If you and I sit back in our seat, in our chair, in our office, and we say, "Hey, open door, come on in,"
yeah,
a lot of people ain't gonna come in because you know what? If you're the leader, or you're the boss, you're expensive. They
yeah,
know that, and
yeah,
they don't feel like they can
yeah,
afford your time
yes,
and your space, even though you and I have all of this capacity. So you know what we got to do? We got to walk around and give coupons, and we got to give discounts, and we got to go to people and say, you know what? My capacity is big. Let me go to you and let me give you a discount. Because if I go to you, then you're in my presence. But
yeah,
you're not going to just walk through the CEO's door,
nah,
right? Right. So, and it doesn't matter how nice that CEO is. Oh yeah, come on in. Let's have a 10-minute conversation. I ain't going to
yeah,
go in there.
nah.
I ain't going to waste his time.
They
So
can reassure you till the cows come home, right? But we've all felt that. Like I remember, you know, being like, "Nah, this person's out of my league." That's what it feels like. They're out of my league. Why would they invest in me? Why would they spend time on me? Right? And it's hard to get yourself past that if
it,
somebody doesn't come to you.
you know, and it's even in parenting. It's like that. It's like that father or the mother who's busy, busy. You don't think the kid sees how busy you are? The kid sees that you're busy, and then you say, hey, Johnny, little John, you got anything you need to talk to me about? You come and see me. And that kid's like, Dad's always busy, right?
Yeah,
But you know what? You know what we do? We go to them. We go to them because our
proactive.
theater has a lot of capacity. Our leadership and our influence has a lot of capacity, and we need to fill it. We need to fill that theater, and the way we do it is we go. We initiate. We proactively go.
Yeah,
And so that's what we do.
man, it's beautiful. Now, can you help me make the tie back to the idea of priceless leadership or the idea of pricelessness. Try to tie all this stuff together.
Yeah. So again, that goes back to this mindset of when we are in leadership at the end of the day, I'm not going to take anything away from anyone with regard to this. If you're a leader in sports, you're not going to stick around very long if you don't produce some metrics called wins. In some cultures, it's a metric called championships, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to stick around too long, right? If you are an 0-17 football coach, you're probably going to last about one season, right? You could be the greatest leader in the world, but you got to produce, right? Same thing goes for anybody in corporate America. You got to meet those quarterly metrics. You got to meet those quarterly bottom lines, and the list goes on. And so I'm not taking that away from anybody. Those are necessary requirements of a leader to meet that. But what happens is that in the minute that our focus becomes those metrics, it has a tendency to suck us back into what can I get in the way of the things that I need to produce those metrics,
Yeah.
to drive toward those metrics, and everything becomes a functionality toward that metric, right?
Means to the end,
It's a
transactional, right? I see where you're going.
Yeah. And the thing is this, is that, you know what, that leader, they might get it. They might actually get their desired expectation. But I'm going to tell you this, if you commodify your people, if you perceive them and they perceive like you're perceiving them as a priced input to production, as a priced only asset, if that's what they perceive, well, I'm going to tell you something. You may get what you expect, but you will never get anything more. That is all you will get. You will be held to that number, to that
Yep.
metric, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
my message to the world is, can you have a little courage as a leader? Can you take a little risk? Can you look at that person as something as more than a commodity to the end metric of the quarter? And can you say, you know what? If I perceive you, and if I value you, and if I see you as priceless, and if I invest into you things that are of priceless traits, you know what's a priceless trait I invest into people? Hope,
Yeah.
courage,
Yeah.
trust, right? When I start investing that kind of stuff into you because I see you as a priceless human being, it's a game changer. You can start putting some metrics aside because you can't measure that kind of stuff. You don't know what you're going to get. You may actually get the unimaginable, right? But you know what? That takes courageous leadership. That takes risky leadership, right? And
Yeah.
so what most leaders do is they like to call themselves leaders, but you know what they do, Johnny? They're running back to management. They're a leader in position and title and job title, but in their daily actions, they're running back to management because management is safer.
Right. Right. It's called CYA, right? That's what they call it. So you're covering your own butt,
Yeah,
making sure that you're putting your interests ahead of the people that you are leading,
yeah,
right? And so it sounds like there's a servant leadership element to what you're bringing into the world.
it is servant leadership. I tend to stay away from that term only because that term has been so utilized to the point where people dismiss it, and I don't want them to dismiss it. And so the way I don't have them dismiss it is I call it something a little bit different, and
Makes
I bring
sense.
it from a little bit different angle so that they realize it is servant leadership, but I don't want them to dismiss it. And the only other thing is that I would like to add about this priceless leadership thing too is, Johnny, is that it's not just about perceiving and seeing your people as priceless and valuing them as priceless, but here's the thing. There's only one person that can see and value people as priceless, and that's people. You know why? Because that leader is also priceless, right? So getting back to that mentorship thing, you want to know something funny? You know who's been filling that vacuum?
Let me think if I do know that. Who's filling the mentorship vacuum? I would say like YouTube, technology, like, yeah,
Yeah. Online CBTs,
yeah,
AI,
yeah.
YouTube. So when people want mentorship, you know where they're being directed? They're being directed to technology.
Yeah.
They're not being directed to a human who has years of experience, wisdom, discernment, and that person is going to give them relationship, right?
Right.
And
Right.
you know what you're doing the minute you give mentorship that hand? You're once again telling the person that you're priced. You're
Yeah.
priced, right? I
Yeah.
can't give you priceless relationships, so I'm going to give you priced technology to mentor you.
You're not worth the time of a human. Right? Like that's what's being communicated.
No one's going to
Right.
say that, but that
Yeah.
to me is what's being conveyed when an
Yeah.
organization relies on technology to be a source of mentorship.
Yeah. Right. And it's a lower view of mentorship, isn't it? Right? Like that's a lower view because the high view of mentorship, and maybe even the ideal that's beyond what most people's definition would be, is I am going to invest in you and I'm going to lift you up as high into your potential as I possibly can, even if that means you leave, right? Even if you go somewhere else because I helped you, I was too good at my job. I mentored you too well.
That's the best.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Yeah, man.
That's the and yeah, even right, but that's again, that gets back to courage. I have the courage to see you grow so much that it might actually mean that you leave my nest. Oh
Yeah.
Lord, don't do that.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
get back to safety.
Yeah.
Um, but just right, Johnny. That's the power of priceless leadership. Is that and you know better than anybody. You see someone and you value someone as priceless. They feel it. They know it. And the minute someone in the world gives them that, watch out. You don't know where that will go. That
Nah,
will
you don't, man.
that won't that Johnny, that won't stop at a metric.
Yeah, dude.
But it takes a leader to trust that that could be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what Mr. Rogers, Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers used to say? He used to say, and he says it in there's a scene in the movie, the movie A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, and you get to see like the way that this man would pour. He was a leader in the sense you're talking about. He was a mentor in the sense you're talking about. He would just sit with people and give them undivided attention and love them. And in his loving presence, people would just get transformed, bro. Like
Mm,
that dude was remarkable.
mm,
And he would say this thing. He'd say, I want you to take a minute and I want you to think of the people. He's like, he'd like clock it on his watch. Take a minute and think about the people that loved you into being.
mm,
Think about the people that loved you into being.
mm,
And people would just stop and then they just start crying,
mm.
like, but even as you were saying that, when you were talking about the kind of leader, the kind of mentor you're talking about, I'm almost brought to tears, right? Because I start thinking about the people who have done that for me,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
there are people in my life
Yeah.
who have loved me into being, who did not have to spend the time or invest the effort or the energy that they did, but they did because they saw something. And so if you look at me, if anybody out there looks at me and is like, dang, Johnny's flying, man.
Yeah.
Dang, Johnny's going, you right. Like I grew up in Park Hill, man. Like I never thought I was going to be anything. Nobody thought I was going to be anything, right? Now CEO of a company, right?
Mm,
Um, you know, published a book, all these things that
mm.
have happened. Why? Because people loved me into being, because somebody stopped and took the time to invest in me and to see my potential and to see me as priceless, to see me right. And so I'm gonna name a couple. I want to name Alan Briggs.
Mm.
That's the reason I wrote my book was Alan Briggs. Shout out to Alan Briggs who invested in me, time, energy, wisdom, love, and I have a book in the world, like that's one of them. There was Chaz Maldonado, Paulette McIntosh from my old school, my high school Upward Bound program. You just got me thinking about these things because it's like that's what people are longing for, and you don't know what it could lead to.
Yeah.
That's what's priceless about it, right? Like you can't
Yeah.
put up there. Yeah, I could get you to perform right to the standard if I'm transactional with you, and if I'm going to punish you if you don't, right? And I'll hold you accountable. But then there's this other thing that and you have no idea. People will exceed. People can exceed so far beyond that you're like you're standing there in awe of what they even accomplished.
Yeah. Yeah. Johnny, so I just My book just came out on Amazon yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And just recently, I reconnected. The power of LinkedIn. I reconnected with a guy who used to be one of my subordinates, right?
Yeah.
And he goes out there yesterday after my book launches, and he puts a post, and it's a picture back 26 years ago, a picture of when I was a captain and he was a young lieutenant under working under me. He
Yeah.
puts his post out there, and I'm going to post it on LinkedIn so everyone will actually eventually get to see it. But he's talking about my mentoring influence in his life, right? Now, we had lost touch for about 20 plus years and then just
Yeah.
recently reconnected, right?
Yeah.
And in there, he puts some incredible amounts of humbling, honorable, kind words that I was just blown away by about how
Yeah.
it influenced and affect. You know where he finished? So I retired as what I would an '06 in the military. He retired as a general officer in the military.
Dang,
He
bro.
went way past me,
Yeah.
but he was talking about back when he was this young guy that he had this guy that was just a little bit older that treated him like a priceless human being,
Yeah.
not just another uniformed machine, but a
Yeah.
priceless human being. And it stuck with him for the next 25 years. And then the way he has now gone and influenced and led the masses, the multitudes, that's
Yeah.
the power. That's that I can't put a number on that. That's the unimaginable that kind of happens
That's the
when you
unimaginable.
and the book the economics is a discipline. The
Yeah.
thing is that people on the surface, they always see the graphs, they see the data, they see the math, and they never get through the corridor to see that, you know what this discipline was always created for? It was created to serve humanity.
Yes.
It's not created to serve your numbers. It's created to serve the immeasurable, humanity.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, bro.
that's what I'm bringing back. That's what I'm bringing back to life, Johnny.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I can totally see this, man. And I love it. Um yeah. This this has been beautiful. And actually I've got a one or two more questions for you. So we might be here for another 60 minutes, I guess. Uh, um, so what's your dream? And this is because so much of this is community building, and I want people to understand where you're going so that if they have keys to doors that they can open for you, I want them to know the direction you're heading so they know the doors to open. So what's the impact you're trying to make in the world, and what does it look like? Like, help us to see it, smell it, taste it. Like, what do you want to see? Where are you going?
Yeah, can I give you three parts to this dream?
Yes, please.
Okay. So one big part is what we talked about earlier is I would dream that every organization and team have a mentorship operating system, have a mentorship program that is not digitized, but that is bringing a framework like this. It's a universal framework that they could bring it into their organization, and that leaders in that organization can understand and embrace this framework so that they can bring mentorship as a human being across their organization all the way down to the lowest levels and rehumanize priceless mentorship. That would be one. Okay, CBTs have their place, technology has their place, YouTube has their place, but let's not make that the primary means of mentorship. Let's get back to humanity and mentorship. And let's do it with a good universal framework called econ. And it's got that for you.
Yeah.
The second thing for me is this. I would love for this, and it's got a little bit of traction. It's already started, but boy, it sure is hard knocking on this door. I would love for every senior management, econ, business student at every university or in every MBA program or every executive course that's out there in the world that before they graduate, they get one more final seminar course because they've all heard the language. Because if they're in that world and they're about to aspire and launch out into corporate America or NGOs or military or whatever, and they're going to become a leader, they've had a little bit of econ. They've heard the language.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
want them to get this as a final seminar course to say this to all of these launching leaders: don't forget your bedside manners.
Yeah.
That it's
Yeah.
not about the money. It's about your legacy. And
Yeah.
econ was not to invest to just drive your monetary wealth.
Make you
Econ,
better.
no.
Yeah. Or make you
Econ was
capitalistic machine.
invested for you to get that monetary wealth and for you to get that platform so that you can drive it right back into what's priceless for your legacy. That's leaderonomics. And so I want all of those people to have this as a final seminar before they walk out. Don't forget. Don't forget. Don't
Yeah.
forget your bedside manners about leadership.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
what they call the soft skills.
soft skills.
Yeah,
And then
man.
number third, if I could give you a specific audience, I've been a Christian for 30 plus years. I've been in a lot of churches. I've moved 15 times with the military. So every place we've gone, we've had to find a new church,
Yeah.
a new faith community.
Yeah.
And I cannot tell you the number of churches, great doctrine, great theology, sound biblical principles, but the leadership is lacking sometimes. And when I talk to a lot of pastors and I talk to a lot of church leaders, the thing is this, is that, in seminaries and in all the Christian places where they go get their education, they get a lot of great education, but they don't get a whole lot of leadership training.
Yeah.
And so the next
Yeah.
thing you know, here they are, super scholar, super theologian. But you know what? You know what the grassroots day-to-day job is? It's shepherding.
Leadership,
It's
shepherding,
leading. It's
caretaking.
mentoring. It's guiding. It's
Yeah.
directing. It's vision. And you know how much of that they get in seminary? Not a whole lot. They get a lot of
Yeah.
Greek. They get a lot of
Yeah.
Hebrew, but I don't know how much leadership framework they get. And so, just because of my faith and because of my love for the church and because of my love for the Christian community, I would love for this book, even though this book is meant for the whole world, not a faith world necessarily. I would love for this book to get into the hands of faith leaders so that they can see, once again, some of these principles that I consider very universally founded principles, so they can be better leaders and shepherds of their community, of their faith community.
Bro.
So I got a big dream, Johnny.
That's good, man. You're in good company. I love hanging out with people with big dreams, because there is a lot of power in community, and in knowing each other's dreams and then helping each other, going to bat for each other. So on that note, if anybody watching this can think of a door that they could open for Seung, then please feel free to open that door, reach out, and I can put you into contact and those kinds of things. Seung.
Johnny, can I just say, I love, I love how aligned you are to who you are, and what you do, and what you bring to the fight, in not only identity and purpose, but in connecting for elevation. Um, it's um, it's just so powerful, and I really appreciate that about you.
Thank you, brother. Man, I appreciate that a lot. This has been a high point of my day for sure, just spending time with you. So thank you for sitting with me today, man. And I hope your dream takes you places that it probably already has. Probably already has taken you places you never imagined. Takes you into rooms and spaces that you just never dreamed of, man. And I hope more and more and more of that happens for you, because the message is beautiful, man. And what you're trying to do in the world is beautiful. You've got a beautiful heart, man. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. And for those of you who stayed with us up to this point, thanks for joining us for another episode. And we will see you next time. Take it easy, y'all.